Plants vs. Zombies, my beloved. What are you doing? Wait. No, 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 no. No, 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 no.
Oh no, 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 no! So! No, no, no! So!
What the hell did they do to the art style? Look at the pea shooter. Oh my god, I'm gonna be sick. What do they do to him?
Look how they massacred my boy.
How did this happen? I want names, and I want them now. I want to know who fucked my baby. My poor little baby Plants vs. Zombies. I've played it so many times in so many different ways. I played it on the Xbox 360, on the Nintendo DS, played it on the computer. I've played it on the mobile phone. I played it fucking everywhere. Who did this? From my understanding, they have some sort of new team working on Plants vs. Zombies. I don't know why. Why did they change the art style, which from what I've heard is also set in stone? You're gonna set this shit in stone? I think you'd be better off setting yourself on fire, quite frankly. That might be a bit much, but I don't know. Fuck them. EA wants... Well, I'm sorry, PopCap. From what I've heard, PopCap is actually making these decisions independently of EA. And EA is just a little bit hands-off with them. You know, for a lot of people blaming EA for it. And while I hate EA as much as the next guy, because of their very anti-consumer practices, and their fucking loot crate nonsense, it's not their fault this time. And if I ever want them to make Zubo 2, I'm gonna have to side with them on this one. It's PopCap that is to blame this time, unfortunately. If you take a look at Plants vs. Zombies, you'd see the art style is pretty reasonable. I like it. I think it's very inventive. It's very, looks good. Just looks good. Goes exactly with what the game is going for. But then Plants vs. Zombies 2 simplifies it a little itty bit. I feel like the zombies mostly the same, just the plants. I feel like Pea Shooter's got like that foreskin droop at the end of his mouth for some reason in this one, but that's okay. That's alright. I don't know how they went from that to this. It's just ridiculous. I don't think that this is really excusable. It's fucking stupid. They refuse to change the art style. And not just that, but there are some other things that are really shitty about it. For one, so far from the betas, though I'm assuming, or at least hoping, this will change in the main game. One, the sun is no longer in increments of 15 and 25. So, that's a fucking bummer. Number two, the prices are now inconsistent with the first few games. The price of one pea shooter is no longer 4 suns. Now it's 3 suns. 1 sunflower is 1 sun. And, so on and so forth. And for some reason, some of the plants have been changed into, like, power-ups. I don't think the jalapeno should be a power-up. I don't think any of these should be power-ups. They're plants. Let them be plants. And they plant a lot of plants for you. And, these levels are neat. They're very gimmicky, though. Which is not like the original Plants vs. Zombies. Plants vs. Zombies, I feel... For the first couple levels, they kind of held your hand, but from what I've heard, there are like 20 tutorial levels in this one, which is just ridiculous. I was just playing Plants vs. Zombies 2 for the first time. They also go a little overboard with it. Like, I don't need to be told everything. If I'm playing the second game, developers should, by default, assume that I played the first game, so unless you're doing a tutorial for a new gimmick, it's just a little ridiculous to have me do it all again. I don't see that that's reasonable. So that's just a general complaint with the video game industry nowadays. Why are there so many tutorials and none of them are integrated properly? All of them are so fucking boring. Or they're just like little text boxes that pop up. If you're going to put in a tutorial, put it in the game world. Make it make sense in the game world. Which is a little bit hypocritical for my game, Connection Lost. But that's just... I'm not a video game company. A video game company should know better. I don't know how to properly integrate it, because I don't really have time to in the full game. It might be, though. Back to the main point here. Plants vs. Zombies 3 has quite a few problems right away. And it's good that they're doing this for feedback, but I don't think they're following correctly. You know, the art style is just shitty, just really bad, terrible. Fire all of your artists right now. That being said, though, if this was a standalone game, I wouldn't be complaining. It was like a side game. But this is taking on the big three when you haven't even completed the story of Plants vs. Zombies 2 yet. And can I just say, I'm very confused about this story. So, are we the same person from the first game, or is this something new? And Dave never seems to mention that we already beat Zomboss in the first game and that he's back now, which, in defense of the game's writers, at the end of the first game, if you try and play it again, Dave says something like, "Man, these zombies just keep coming." But it's never brought up if you're the same guy, which I'm assuming you're not, because Dave always introduces himself and he does the same thing in 3. So, one, if this is the same house, why isn't it the same person? Which, I mean, I might want to fact check that. This is a rant. I do not have any script for this. But, you know, I feel like I got most of my points across. 1, the art style is garbage. 2, the game is way too hand-holdy. 3, the story is shit, and they haven't even finished the second game's story yet, so why did they start a third game? Make an ending for your game. PopCap. Assholes. And, you know, the other stuff about the sun, which that's just a little thing, I guess, but you know, I liked the 25/15 sun increments. I thought that made a lot of sense, and this is just very frustrating. I feel like this game that I cherished for all of my childhood is just being warped and distorted into some sort of monster, too simplified for modern generations. They can understand it, I assure you, PopCap. And for fuck's sake, how come you're gonna take what I loved about the original game and just fuck it all? You should assume by default if someone's playing the sequel to a game that they played the first one, even if you know they probably didn't. Because a lot of people will just buy a sequel to a game without even playing the first one. But the point of a sequel is to continue the story and to provide something to follow up on the first game or second game or whatever game you're following up. So, game developers should by default assume that the person playing this game played the last one, and the one before that, or however many before that. I know it's not likely, but it's how they should go about it. Because otherwise, it's just going to piss people who did play the first games off. And if you're going to be pissed off about it because you didn't play the first game, then go play the first game. But you know what? This is getting too rambly and too ranty. I feel like I got my point across. This was just sort of test of my editing of audio and shit. So, that's gonna do it for this one. Off be said.
She be like, suck my dick, suck my dick. Yo bitch, suck my dick, suck my dick. Yeah, she suck my dick. But then she go, bitch, on my phone, she go, ooh, and I go.